Hello, this is Kornelia. This is my second recording because I did lose my first one. So I'm just gonna play through my game or our game design 50%, and I'm going to explain what I've contributed and what are my future plans before the final submission, which is in 6 weeks. So I will not be doing the tutorial because what's in the tutorial is what's in the main game, and it's just to speed up the progress. There's nothing different that should be shown for me. So first of all, the player, from its design to its final animations, it was all done by me. See, this is the walk, the jump and double jump. We have the three attacks, so it's like left hit, right hit, left hit, right hit, and kick. And then we also have the three hard hits, which is, 1 second. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, I overused the stamina and I had to just wait for it to come back. So, these are the three attacks, the hard ones at least. Sorry, the recording is really messing it up, so this can just work. There we go. Sorry, the recording really hates me. Also, it wasn't shown at the beginning because it's before the menu, but it is recommended to use controller, which I unfortunately do not have at this time. I'm using keyboard, which is not as optimized, unfortunately. Anyways, you see here two entities. Both have been designed and animated by me as well. Basically, I've done that for all the games. I've designed all the entities and animated them, the ones you're gonna be seeing. So this one has has basically all enemies at least all have similar amount of animations, being the idle of the walk, the get hit, and then the attack, and sometimes even two attacks. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's another one. This is another one. This one explodes. Also animated by me. The rooms are randomly generated, so I cannot confirm what will be appearing. The shop owner, also drawn by me. It currently has no animations because it's just a shop owner. You're not supposed to fight it. But I do want to actually give it like an idle animation, maybe another one for thank you for buying. Because I think that'd be really cool, especially before the submission. Just a little nice, sweet thing to be added. So I'm just gonna keep it real simple. Just gonna buy some stuff. Also the items, let me just actually show this again. All these items have also been drawn by me as well as designed, though we all as a group did in class discuss what kind of items should be drawn, as well as what should they do. I just basically did the sketches and the finalization. Oh, let me just get out. Anyways, since all these rooms are randomly generated, as you can see, this is actually going to be really easy because they're all explosive. Allows me to get further. I have to play this game to the very end because there is animations for the entire game till the very end that need to show. I'm just gonna go down. Oh, some items. Oh, this might be a while. Alright, this is the first mini boss before the final boss. Basically, its concept is that it's a mimic of your own player, doing the exact same attacks and jumps and everything, meaning you have to basically fight yourself and win. There's nothing too much to say about this one, since it was just kept to make it easier on the whole team. There's a lot already to implement. I think it's a pretty neat idea that we thought of, so I actually do like it. Though I will say overall for animation, oh, there was an item I missed. I don't need it. But I do say for future, I do want to work on fixing some of the animations. Overall, I think the animations are fine, but the way they implement the game, some feel a little too fast, some a little too slow, some feel delayed. But I will say most of the delay is just because I'm on the keyboard and I don't have a controller. It would otherwise be a lot more different. So we just have to suffer through this. What? There's different ways of defeating them. I'm just doing this way, try not to die. I'll probably pause for a second just to defeat them. Alright, it's been defeated. I'll just pick that up. We just mostly want to see the final boss now, because that's one of the major things that has not been shown yet. Oh, we found a horse book. Oh, that's just gonna be a ray of sunshine. Let me just go through these. There we go. Alright, so, oh, sorry about that. Let me just move on to next level. So, the white enemy you see with the sticker note is basically the regular enemy with nothing special about it. Every other enemies basically have special abilities like exploding one. Another thing lacking that would be very useful, especially before submission, is oh, there we go. Just click that. So it's effects done digitally, not effects that are like shown here that are like lights. Oh, there's the boss. But I see like there's the glowing lights and everything. I mean more like pixelated as well, digitally drawn, as well as in Libra sprite, like everything else is drawn by me. There we go. Here's the boss, designed and drawn by me. Originally had also multiple concept designs until we decided on one. I'll just defeat it. Basically, the animations here were not done by me for this. Though I do want to actually animate some parts of the enemy to make him much more scary and realistic. There have been already concepts done for that. I just need to actually be able to do that. There we go. But as you can see, the arms already have like different positions they transform into, which I drew them separately. Well, let me just grab this. Should be almost done. There we go. I believe that's most of this here. Now I will be going to Libra Sprite to show you some more work, more without any effects or any issues, because I wasn't on controller. So this is just the idol, which has an issue, which was just a get hit, which I'll delete temporarily. But basically, they have a lot of layers, as you can see, and usually around 16 frames. This one is a lot more simpler, but a lot of them are just like 6 to like 15 average, with like some even more layers. Some just I deleted because having like more than 10 can actually like begin lagging. Here's like a walk of the bomb enemy. Now this, do not be deceived, because this is just an alternate, because I make an original file, I make an alternate which I compile and I work on the flow separately, which is a whole different task on its own. Same with this. Sometimes I also compile different animations which I then end up cutting up afterwards to give to my teammates, all cut up nicely. It's just for me an organization. For example, this jump, as you can see, has a lot of layers. Originally had a lot more. And this is more the final one then, compiled and cleaned. As you can see, the pace is way more different as well. And we also have like the walk of the silent enemy and run of the player after it's been compiled. Overall, if we open here, everything done here is basically what I've done for this project. All these images have been sent in and done. If I can just find is there we go up. This is like all the items I've done. As you can see, this canvas is much smaller because it was designed to be built like compared to the player, so the pixel size isn't too different. As you can see, I work with 1 pixel. It's just a way to make the art style feel a lot more smoother. And then most of the concept arts that are done, unfortunately, are not on this computer. They're usually on my phone or on page. I have some screenshotted here that I will be showing you. Here's the enemy the boss I was talking about, where he's offline and then online. This will be a whole animation transition that I am planning, along with effects and fixing the animation transitions. And that's also the player size for comparison, as I always make sure to let my the other developers know the sizes and the ideas that I'm coming up with, as well as making sure they also like the idea. So there's a lot of concepts first before they're transformed to the final idea in Libre Sprite, which is the final product. Here's some other concept designs. As you can see, that's the silent enemy. And here was originally a dog. This never in the end made it into the final design. It was supposed to, but with the workload, a whole new animation set for a new enemy was just too much. So there are a lot of concepts that have been abandoned over time. So here's like for example the player. The player had originally 6 entirely different concepts. I made them entirely separate with different ideas and different themes, which we all voted on in the end because I do want to make sure it's inclusive to our team members and I make sure that everyone's happy with the final decision. Also, I was practically the art leader in this project, meaning I also did at the very beginning huge research on making an idea of what kind of art style we were going to provide to this game. In the end, this was the final design of our idea of the designs with big hands, big feet, and big head. The big 3 attributes that are important to show the player what actions are being played, as that was my belief. The animations, originally, I'm a big fan of Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends, my childhood, so is another thing I agreed and told the group that most of the animations are more squishable and not as realistic for the reason as it is heavily inspired by Rayman Origins, which was also something discussed very early on and decided upon. And yeah. And I think that's it. I really know in the last 6 weeks there's a lot I want to work on, and I will be definitely busy. Definitely naming a few is just the new animations for like the boss and also for the shopkeeper, just like silly in between that will just make it nicer to play, as well as especially a big focus is effects, which I can think can make or break a game. And possibly even, I know there's already menus, but I do want to work on some separate ideas as well for different pop-ups and clean them up as well. Apart from that, I'll definitely have my hands full. There'll be definitely multiple meetups as well as discussions, as I do want to contribute, but also I like to discuss with my team members how everything will go ahead. I still usually have like 2 meetings a week for this. Alright, thank you for listening. Hopefully you've covered enough. Thank you for your time.